Okay, so we are discussing finite groups. Several examples, we have seen several examples in the last class. Here are some more examples. Klein's 4 group. Okay, so this group consists of 4 elements: E, A, B, C, and the composition table is this. O is the composition. This E, A, B, C, E, A, B, C. Okay, diagonal all E. This is EABC, this is EABC, and this is like that. Means AOA is E, BOB is E, COC is E. That means every element is inverse of its own inverse. Every element of the group is its own inverse. Inverse of E is E, inverse of A is A, because A composition A is E. Inverse of B also is B. Inverse of C also is C. Okay, and this is symmetric about the principal diagonal. So this is commutative group. Okay, and another interesting fact about this is this is a simple abelian group of order 4, and the interesting fact is that every element is inverse of its every element is its own inverse. Okay, this is the point to note here. Okay, this is also called V. This is also denoted by V. Now we will introduce today the alternating group of order n. Okay, so if you consider the set 1, 2, etc. n, how many permutations we can get? Total factorial n permutations. Okay, now if you consider only the even permutations, that all even permutations forms a group, non-commutative group, with respect to multiplication of permutation. Okay, so what is even permutation, what is odd permutation, we are going to discuss today. Okay, so just to note here that if you consider the set of all permutations of 1 to etc. n, there are total factorial n elements in that set, and half of them are even permutations, half of them are odd permutations. I will introduce shortly what is even permutation and what is odd permutation. And if you consider this subset, okay, this subset out of factorial n permutations, if you consider half of them are even permutations, so if you consider that collection of half factorial n permutations, even permutations, that constitutes a group with respect to the multiplication of permutation. And this is a non-commutative group. Non-commutative group. Means for n greater or equal to 4, it is non-commutative group. If you take A3, okay, in that case same thing will form a group, but it will be a commutative group. Okay, so earlier we have considered if you consider the set of all permutations, out of them, if you consider the permutations that corresponds to this symmetries of regular n-gon. If you consider the symmetries of a regular n-gon, this essentially gives you a subset of these factorial n permutations. For example, if you consider 4 elements, so factorial 4 permutations, that means 24 permutations you get. And out of them, if you consider the permutations corresponding to only these symmetries, 8 symmetries, so out of these 24 permutations, you consider the only 8 permutations corresponding to these rotations in this plane, and reflection means a rotation out of the plane, that means reflection about the vertical line, horizontal line, and diagonal, main diagonal and off diagonal. So these are 4 rotations, and another 4 rotation in this plane. This is 0 degree rotation about this point O, 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree. So you get 8 symmetries. 8 symmetries. These 8 symmetries corresponds to 8 permutations of the set 1, 2, 3, 4 or ABCD. Here I have named them ABCD. Okay. So if your set is 1, 2, 3, 4, you get 8 permutations. So total 20 for a set of 8 elements, out of 8 permutations, if you consider only permutations corresponding to means total 24, 8 elements means how many permutations possible? 4 elements. A set consists of 4 elements. 4 vertices. Okay, so how many permutations are possible? Factorial 4, 24. Out of them, I am considering only 8 permutations, this particular permutation. That constitutes a group corresponding to this, and it consists of yes, it consists of 8 elements. Okay, now if you have 3 elements set, earlier we have seen if you have 3 elements set and you consider the triangle correspond, you consider the symmetries of this triangle. Okay, this essentially gives you 6 permutations. 6 permutations. Okay, so that that actually forms a group. Okay, and now I am considering out of this n elements set, total factorial n permutations. Out of them, half of these permutations are even permutations. I am extracting them. That forms a group under this same operation. Okay, and for this non-commutative group, n greater or equal to 4. If n equal to 3, in that case, this forms this A3 forms a group of order 3. Okay, so this an is called the alternating group of order n. Alternating group of order n. Now, how many elements it will have? N will have factorial n divided by 2. That many elements in it. Okay, now what do we mean by even permutation and odd permutation? Let us discuss those parts. So S is the set. Suppose a finite set. Instead of 1 to n, I am taking A1 to an. Now a permutation F from S to S. This is a bijection. A permutation is a bijective mapping from S to itself, S onto itself. So this permutation is a cycle of length r. A permutation is said to be a cycle of length r if it is if you have this relation f I1 equal to ai2, f ai2 equal to ai3, f ai r minus 1 is f air. Then if you apply f on this air, you get back a I1, ai1. Then ai1, ai2, air. This is a cycle. Means when you apply f under f, it is taking you here. Under f, it is taking you next. Under f, it is taking you back to ai1. So this one part I didn't write it. Another thing you add here, f air, that will give you back ai1. Okay, and for other edges, they are going to edges under f. Okay, for j not equal to I1, I2, IR. Okay, something like that. Say this permutation. This is 1 is going to 2, 2 is going to 3, 3 is going to 1. So this is a cycle 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you apply f on 1, it is giving you, means row 1. Actually here the permutation is row 1. So row 1 when applied on 1, it is taking you to 2. Then on 2 you apply, taking you to 3. On 3 you apply, it is taking you to 1 back. So 1, 2, 3, this is a cycle. Same notation. Here also, if you see this 1 is going to 1. So this is cycle 1, 2 is going to 2, this is cycle 2, 3 is going to 3, this is cycle. This is a cycle of length 3, this is a cycle of, this is a like cycle, each is a cycle of length 1. Here it is a cycle of length 3. Okay, so ai1, ai2, air, I can write it in this way, ai1, ai2, air, or I can write in this way also, ai2, ai3, air, ai1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or I can write it 2, 3, 1, or I can write it as 3, 1, 2. Okay, like that. Here also same way. So this is cycle, how we define cycle. A permutation is a cycle of length r if this holds. So these are the elements of the cycle. And disjoint cycles have no common element. Disjoint cycles have no common element. So this is a cycle, this is a cycle. They are not disjoint, they have common elements. So these are not disjoint cycles. Multiplication of two disjoint cycles is commutative. Multiplication of two, if you have two disjoint cycles, it is commutative. It is commutative. So every permutation of a finite set is either a cycle or can be expressed as product of disjoint cycles. So for example, what I'm saying, so either this is a cycle, a permutation is a cycle, or it can be written as product of disjoint cycles. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so every permutation of a finite set is either a cycle or can be expressed as a product of disjoint cycles. I'm not going to prove this. I'm not going to prove this. Okay, now order of a permutation means what? Order of a permutation means suppose f is a permutation on a finite set S. Order means order, how we define order. Order means this is the least positive integer n such that fn is the identity permutation. Identity permutation is this type of permutation. Means every element is invariant. 1 is going to 1, 2 is going to 2, 3 is going to 3, n is going to n. Okay, that is your identity permutation. It is under f you are getting the identity fi equal to I, f a equal to a. Okay, so here order of a permutation f means this is a positive order is a least positive integer n such that f n equal to I. That means if you take the composition of f with itself n times, it will give you the identity permutation. And you can show that order of R cycle is R. R cycle, how we define R cycle? This way I am defining R cycle. Okay, so if once you apply f means this is the R cycle. R cycle, this is the cycle of length R. This is R cycle. Okay, so if applied on n, you get this. So one time you applying, then again you apply f. Second time if you apply f here, you will get next one. So actually fn, it is giving you fn equal to the identity. Fn equal to identity. The R cycle you can prove, you try to prove this. If you have an R cycle, it will give you, the order is R. R is the least positive integer such that fr is giving you I. Fr means f is composed with itself R times. Okay, and another result here, the order of a permutation on a finite set. This can be shown. This is the LCM of the lengths of its disjoint cycles. LCM of the least common multiple of the lengths of its disjoint cycles. Okay, so we define transposition. Two cycle is called a transposition. A two cycle is called a transposition. Okay, two cycle is a transposition. So if you have one cycle, it can be expressed as product of transpositions. Any R cycle can be every permutation on a finite set containing at least two elements can be expressed as product of transpositions. Say I have three cycle A1, A2, A3. Okay, then it can be written as A1, A3 composition A1, A2, A1, A3, A1, A2. You can easily take that thing. Means what we mean by A1, A2, A3, A1, A2, A3. So if you take the composition of this and this, what does this mean? This means A1 is going to A3, A3 is going to A1. Just transposing. A1 and A3 are interchanged. A1 is going to A3, A3 is going to A1. A2 remains invariant. And what is this? This is A1 and A2 are interchanged. A1 is going to A2, A2 is going to A1, and A3 remains to A3. Now, if you take the composition of this and this, how we perform the composition? First, you see this A1, A2, A3 here. Now, you check from here. A1 is going to A2, and then A2 is going to A2. So, here A1 to A2. A2 is going to A1, A1 is going to A3. So, this is A3. A3 is going to A3 and A3 is going to A1. So, it is A1. So, you can see that if you take the composition of the right hand side, you are getting this cycle. A1 is going to A2, A2 is going to A3, A3 is going to A1. So, this is the cycle A1, A2, A3. Okay, so three cycle can be decomposed in this A1, A3, transposition A1, A3 into transposition A1, A2. If you have any R cycle, It can be decomposed into transpositions in this way: A1 AR, A1 AR minus 1, A1 A3, A1 A2, like this. Okay, any R cycle can be decomposed into a product of transpositions. Okay, this can be proved also. Every permutation on a finite set consisting of at least 2 elements can be expressed as a product of transposition. Can be expressed as product of transposition. Okay, if you have one cycle means what? One cycle AR. One cycle AR means if you have n elements, 1 to n. Okay, 1 to n, and this is cycle AR means essentially AR means one cycle. That means one cycle means 1 is going to 1, 2 is going to 2, n is going to n. AR is going to AR, AS is going to AS, n is going to n. Now it can also one cycle. This is one cycle. This is example of one cycle. This is 1 is going to 1. N variant. It is under this permutation, 1 is remaining to 1, 2 is remaining to 2, 3 is remaining to 3. So it can be written as cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3. So this is the product of 3 cycles of length 1 each. Now any cycle of length 1, if you consider any cycle of length 1, say AR. So AR, you can write it as transposition of 2 cycles, of 2 transpositions. Okay, product of 2 transpositions, AR AS, AR AS. You can check that also. Suppose right hand side, if you write AR AS means what? This transposition means AR and AS position, they are interchanged, and this is also AR AS position interchanged. So if you write these two, okay, this into this, so this is 1 to AR AS in AR AS in, and this is AR is going to AS, AS is going to AR. Remaining others are all invariant. Here also the same thing. Now you take the composition, you get 1 is going to 1, 1 is going to 1. So this is fine. 2 is going to 2, 2 is going to 2. So all are invariant. And if you check AR is going to AS, AS is going to AR. AR is going to AS, AS is going to AR. So AR to AR. And AS or AS to AS also. Okay, so this becomes one cycle. Okay, so this is AR. Okay, now identity permutation. If you consider the identity permutation means every element. If you take only this is actually identity. 1 is going to 1, 2 is going to 2, AR is going to AR, AS is going to AS, N is going to N. So this identity permutation, it can be written as a product of transpositions. So I can be written as ARAS, ARAS, or it can be written as ARAS, ARAS, AMAN, AMAN. You can keep on doing this. Okay, so this will give you identity. This will give you identity. Identity. Product will give you identity. Okay, so this decomposing a permutation into product of transposition, this is not unique. And for identity, it can be written in several ways. I is this. I can be written as this also. So this representation is not unique. So product of transpositions in many ways. Okay, a number of factors in its decomposition into transposition is either odd or even. Okay, the way you are so this is transposition. I is written as transposition of 2 means product of 2 transpositions or product of 4 transpositions. Okay, so number of transpositions may differ, but its parity is same. Parity means number of how many. This is product of even number of permutations or odd number of permutations. Means transpositions. That is fixed. Number product of transpositions can be in different ways, but the number of factors in its decomposition, number of factors, this is either even or odd. So that's why permutations are either one permutation is either even or odd permutation. It depends on how many ways you can decompose it. Means odd number of transposition, it can be represented as product of odd number of permutations or even number of permutations. Depending on that, it is odd permutation or even permutation. Means one permutation you can always write by this theorem. Any permutation can be written as product of transpositions. So this number of transpositions is either odd or even. For a particular permutation, it is either odd or even. Okay. So accordingly, the permutation is odd permutation or even permutation. So even an odd permutation, a permutation is said to be even if it can be expressed as the product of an even number of transpositions, and odd if it can be represented as a product of odd number of transpositions. So if you have R cycle A1, A2, AR. Okay, so R cycle, it is if you write it, decompose it into transpositions, it will be A1 AR, A1 AR minus 1, A1 A3, A1 A2. It should be A1 A3, A1 A2. Okay, you correct it. A1 A3, A1 A2. Okay, so how many transpositions you have here? So this is R minus 1. So if it is R cycle, then R minus 1 up to this is 2. Okay, R, A1, 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 R minus 1, A1, A2. This is A1, A3, this is A1, A2. So R minus 1 part transpositions you are getting. Okay, so R cycle, this is even permutation. This is even permutation. That means even number of transpositions. If R minus 1 is even, that means R is odd. Okay, so this cycle is R even permutation if R is odd. R cycle is even permutation if R is odd, and odd permutation if R is even. Okay, because in R cycle can be decomposed into R minus 1 transposition. So this is even permutation if R minus 1 is even. This is odd permutation if R minus 1 is odd. Accordingly, this is even permutation if R is odd, and this is odd permutation if R is even. Identity permutation can always be represented as even number of permutation transpositions. Okay, so identity permutation is always even permutation. And this is another fact. If you take the multiplication of two odd permutations, you will get an even permutation. To multiplication of two even permutation is also even permutation. But if one permutation is odd and one permutation is even, you take their composition, that means multiplication of permutations, it will be odd. Odd into even or even into odd, you will get odd permutation. Okay, odd, even permutation, even permutation. Odd, even, odd permutation, odd, even, odd permutation. And also this is a fact. If you take the inverse of an odd permutation, it is also odd. And inverse of an even permutation is even. So here is your result, theorem. Without proof, I am just stating. Okay, the finite set. Suppose S is a finite set, and then number of odd permutations and number of even permutations will be equal. So if the order of the set finite set, order of the set is n, then half factorial n many even permutations you will get, and half factorial n many odd permutations you will get. And if you take this set, this collection, in all the even permutations on the set S, okay, then it is the alternating. This is the alternating group. It actually forms a non-commutative group if n is greater or equal to 4. That is alternating group of order n. If n is equal to 3, in that case you get A3, and that actually is commutative group of order. That is also group, but it is commutative. But for n greater than 3, it is group, but it is not abelian group. Okay, so I will give you some exercises. Given a permutation, how to find its inverse. Okay, or find two permutations are given, what is find their composition. So this type of small problems I will give as assignment. Okay, or given a permutation, determine whether it is even permutation or odd permutation. Some simple exercise I will give. Okay, now we will discuss, we will introduce order of an element. Okay, order of a group I have defined. Order of a group means how many elements the group has. Now, if you take any particular element in the group, how we define the order of that element? Okay, so for that I have to introduce a notation we call integral power of an element. Okay, so suppose G O be a group. Okay, and A be a fixed element, A be some particular element of G. Now this is my notation. A to the power 0 means E. Already I have introduced this notation earlier while discussing one problem related to idempotent. Okay, proving idempotent, some problem related to idempotent. Anyway, so the integral power of an element means A to the power 0 is E, A to the power n means A is composed n times with this composition. A, composition A, composition A, n factors. Okay, A to the power minus n means A inverse, composition A inverse, composition A inverse, n factors. N is positive integer. Okay, now in a group you can very easily show that if GO is a group and A be an element of G, then for integers m and n, A to the power m, composition A to the power n will be equal to A to the power m plus n. A to the power m whole to the power n equal to A to the power mn. A to the power n whole inverse equal to, this is A, okay, this is not G, this is A. A to the power n whole inverse equal to A to the power minus n. If you follow this definition of integral power, this follows immediately. So A to the power m many times, A to the power m means what? A is composed with itself m many times. Again I am taking composition with A to the power n. That means A is composed with A n many times. So total A is composed with A itself m plus n many times. So this is your argument. Okay, same way you can get these identities. Now, order of an element, I was saying what is order of an element. Already while discussing Zn star, I have defined this order notation, primitive roots. Same concept here also. Okay, so a particular element of group G for composition O, binary composition O, and this group is having identity element E. It should be E. Okay, identity element E. Now, order of A is the least positive integer such that A to the power n is E. We denote the order of A in this by this notation. Order of A, this. Okay. Since already we have discussed Zn star, you will not have any difficulty in understanding these things. Okay. So order of an element means the least positive integer for which A to the power a least positive integer n for which A to the power n is E. Okay, and A is said to have infinite order if there no such n exists. Okay, infinite order or of order 0 if the order of A not finite. If order of A is not finite, means such n cannot be found. Such a least positive integer you cannot identify. Okay, the order of the identity element in a group is 1. Because if you take the identity element e to the power e to the power means order of identity element in a group is 1. So E you are taking E. So e to the power 1 actually. E to the power 1 is E. So 1 is the least. E to the power 1 is E, but e to the power 2 is also E. To the power 3 is also E. But the least positive integer for which e to the power n is E, that is 1. N equal to 1. Okay, so that is how we define this. This word is important. Least positive integer. Least. Okay, so order is having associated with the least positive integer with this restriction. Okay, and this is the fact that identity element in a group has order 1, and there exists no other element in the group having order 1. Only identity element is having order 1. There are several examples for this sets. Already we have discussed these sets, finite sets, and you can check what are the orders of each element. Order of 1 is 1. This is the identity element. The order of identity element is always 1. And what is the order of W? Order of W is, you can check, order of W is 3. And order of omega is 3. And order of omega square, it is also 3. Okay, means least positive integer. To find the order of omega, you have to find the least positive integer such that omega to the power n is 1, and least positive integer is 3, for which omega cube is 1. This is also 3. Z6 plus, you find to check the orders. Check the orders. So when you take additive, power means if you take multiplicative group, it is power means multiplication. But when you have additive group, the power means essentially scalar multiplication. For example, this one. Okay, so what is the order of 0, class 0? So this is Z6. Z6 means modulo 6. So all the integers you divide by 6, you take the remainders. All the positive remainders 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the classes. These are the elements in this set. And order of 0, this is the identity element, its order is 1. What is order of 1? Order of 1 means the least positive integer n such that n times this element should be identity element. So n least n for which n times this is 0, that is essentially 6. 6 times this element is 6. Modulo 6, you are getting 0 class. Okay. Similarly, least element for least element in if you take the scalar multiplication with that element, it's n into class 2, it will give you 0 class. That least element is 3. Similarly, the class 3 is having order 2. This is having order 3. Because 4 into 1 is not 0, 4 into 2 is also not 0, means modulo 6. Okay, 4 into 3 12. So 6 when divide 4 into 3, that means 12 by 6 is giving you 0. So least positive integer for which scalar multiple 0, that is 3 here. 3 times 4 is 0, modulo 6. Okay, so same way you can identify this. So just remember, when you have multiplicative group, in that case you have to consider the least power. In case of additive group, you have to consider the least scalar multiple. That is the difference between these operations. Okay, because if you have additive group, this composition is additive. This composition means this is a plus a plus a. That means it is giving you na instead of a to the power n. Notation is little bit different. Okay, so for general, it is if you are taking composition, this is how we define. If you take this one to be plus, this is essentially not a to the power n. In our standard notation, it is n times a, scalar multiplication. Okay? If it is product, then it is normal, like that, exponentiation. Okay, so here you just check all these groups we have discussed so far. Whatever groups we have discussed, you check what are the order of each element. These are finite groups, finite number of elements. Each element, what is the order of that element? Find that. Weak lines 4 group, so the order of the element E was 1, and other elements all are having order 2. Means order 2 means essentially a square is E, B square is E, C square is E. Order 2 means 2 is the least positive integer, a square is E, B square is E, C square is E. Okay, so a square is E means A equal to A inverse. So since in weak lines 4 group all the elements are self inverse of its own, A and A inverse are same. So you are getting A square is E, B square is E, C square is E. Okay, all these elements are of order 2. Any element in a group, any element having order 2 means it is inverse of itself. Okay. So I will not discuss all these things, you just check. Dihedral group D4, when you consider D4, and D4 means that symmetries of a square, 8 symmetries of a square. So the group was having identity 0 degree rotation about the centroid. Okay, 0 degree rotation means 2 diagonals where they meet. About that point you take the 4 rotation, 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree to 70 degree. And this is about the horizontal line you take a rotation, about the vertical line you take a rotation, not rotation, just reflection. So this is out of the plane, rotation or out of the plane. Okay, and this is main diagonal rotation, reflection about the main diagonal, and this is reflection about the other diagonal. Okay, and you can check their orders. These are the orders essentially. Okay, so R2 is a self inverse. H, B, D, D prime, those are self inverse. They're order 2. They're having order 2. Anyway, and if you consider Z plus, this is having any non-zero element you take in Z plus, it will have infinite order. So this is one example. This is actually not a finite set. This is not a finite set. All these were finite set. All these are finite set. This is not a finite set, and any element other than 0, if you consider, this is having infinite order. And 0 is the identity element, its order is 1. This is a group. Okay? 0 is the identity element. Additive group, 0 is the identity element. Order of 0 is 1. But the order of any other non-zero element, that is infinite. Okay. Now, this result. Okay, this is very important results of group theory. So order of A and order of A inverse are same. In a group GO, suppose A be any element of G, then A and A inverse will have the same order. Okay, you can prove it very easily. Okay, so okay, this is a group, finite group I am saying. Okay, so order of A equal to n, say. I have to show A inverse is also having the same order. Okay, so if order of A is n, then by definition A to the power n is e. N is the least such positive integer. Now you can easily check A inverse to the power n is also e. A inverse to the power n is what? A to the power n whole inverse. A to the power n is e, so e inverse e. E inverse and e same. Okay, so A inverse to the power n is also e. So A inverse to the power n is also e. Now you have to show this n is the order of A inverse. So you have to show this n is the least such positive integer so that this relation holds. N is the least positive integer such that A inverse to the power n is e. A inverse to the power n is e, it is fine. But to show that n is the order of A inverse, this n is also the, I have to show a order of A and order of A inverse are same. That means n. Okay, so I have shown first that A inverse to the power n equal to e, but it is not sufficient. You also have to ensure that n is least such positive integer. And to show that this n is order of A inverse, I have to ensure n is least such positive integer, for which this is equal to this. Suppose this is not the case. There is some other element, some other positive integer m which is less than n. Okay, so that A inverse to the power m equal to e. If there exists some positive integer less than this n, less than this n, for which A inverse to the power m equal to e, then what we get? We get this relation, and now you can see A to the power minus m belongs to G. A to the power n also belongs to G, right? G is a group. A to the power minus m, A to the power minus m belongs to G. A to the power n also belongs to G. Therefore, their composition also belongs to G. Two elements belongs to G means by closure property their composition also belongs to G. So A to the power n minus m belongs to G. Now A to the power n minus m is what? A to the power n is A to the power n into A to the power minus m. A to the power n is e. A to the power minus m is also e. So you are getting this value is e. So this is giving us a contradiction to the fact that n is the order of e, because you can see that this n minus m is this m is less than n. So n minus m, this n minus m is less than n. N minus m is, if it is m is strictly less than n, then n minus m is less than n. So we are getting a to the power some value less than n to be equal to e. So this is giving us a contradiction that n is the order of e. N is not. So this means n is not the least positive integer for which a to the power n equal to e. We are getting even less element, less power, less than this n, for which a to the power that value is e. So this is giving us a direct contradiction to the fact that n is the order of e. So this type of m cannot exist. So this n is least positive integer for which this is a inverse to the power n is e. Okay, so this is essential. This is the general way of proving this type of things. Okay, so by definition, if it is the n is the order of a, then by definition n is least positive integer for which this holds. Now to show order of a inverse is also n. First you show that a inverse to the power n is e. Then you show that there exists no other integer less than n for which a inverse to the power m is e. Okay, because if such m exists for which a to the power m less than n exists, then it will give us a contradiction to our to this fact. So this way I can establish that n is order of a inverse also. Okay, so the first proof I have done. Second proof already we have discussed while discussing order for primitive roots. Okay, order of a primitive element. Okay, they are the same proof. So here it is saying a is having order n, and suppose a to the power m equal to e. A is having order n means a to the power n is e. N is the least positive integer. Now it is saying suppose this holds, and also some a to the power m is also e. Then it must be the case that n is sitting as a factor here. Okay, so n must be a divisor of m. Okay, so simply you apply the division algorithm. Okay, so if this is not the case, if n does not divide m, that means what? That means when you divide m by n, there must be some remainder. Okay, so apply division algorithm. The proof is exactly same as the one we have discussed earlier. So I will not discuss this thing. If the proof is written here, you can go through this. Okay, just apply the division algorithm to show that n divides m. You assume, suppose n does not divide m. Okay, if m does not divide m, that means there must be some remainder, and that remainder will give you a contradiction to the fact that order of a equal to n. That remainder will be essentially less than this n. Okay, and you will get a to the power, that value is also 1. A to the power remainder, a to the power r is e. R is less than n. Okay, so that if you have gone through that proof, then you can understand here also the same thing I am discussing. I will not discuss anymore. The next one is, if order of a is n, then a square a to the power n, a to the power n is e essentially, because n is the order. So all these elements are distinct. Okay, here it also can be proved, because if you assume two different elements, two elements here, they are equal, then you get a contradiction to this fact. Okay, say you have order of a equal to n, a square, all distinct. If it is not the case, suppose two elements ar and as, they are same. Okay, they are same, r less than n, r less than s. So in that case, a to the power s minus r will be e. A to the power s minus r will be e. This will give us a contradiction to this fact, because s minus r is from here you can argue s minus r is lying between 0 and n. This is less than n. Okay, so if there exists two different exponents here which are equal, then essentially you are getting a contradiction, order of a equal to n. Okay. Now this fourth one, actually I said earlier that I will discuss this proof. This is essentially the order of power formula. I will discuss this proof while discussing group theory. Okay, so I will discuss this one now. So order of a equal to n. Order of a equal to n implies if you know the order of a, then you can find the order of power of a. So this is order of power formula. If order of A equal to n, then what will be the order of A to the power m? Order of A to the power m will be equal to order of A divided by GCD of m comma order of A. Order of A to the power m is order of A divided by GCD of A, GCD of m comma order of A. Okay, for any positive integer m, this holds. So order of A to the power m will be this n divided by GCD of m comma n. Okay, I am going to prove this. And the remaining two parts, these are essentially you can derive these two results from this proof. First one saying that order of A equal to n, this implies order of A to the power p is n if and only p is co-prime to n. Okay, so order of A to the power, instead of m you are taking p. Okay, so A to the power p, this is n, and A to the power p also will be equal to n if this GCD of p comma n is 1, if denominator is 1. So this is what it is written here, both way. Okay, if and only if you can prove these things very easily from this. And the other one is if order of A is infinite and p is any positive integer, then A to the power, order of A to the power p is also infinite. Okay, so I will not discuss these two parts, only this order of power formula we will discuss. Proof. Let us prove that. Here. So order of A equal to n, I have to find order of A to the power m. Now, suppose order of A to the power m equal to k. So by definition, this means this A to the power m to the power k is e. K is least such positive integer. Order of A to the power m equal to k. This means A to the power m raised to the power k is e. But k is least such positive integer. Okay. Now since order of A equal to n, that means and A to the power mk equal to e, that means n must be a factor in mk, factor of mk. Because A to the power this power equal to e, and A to the power n equal to e, n is least such positive integer. Okay. So by this fact, by this result, if order of A equal to n and A to the power some m is e, then this n must divide m. Using that fact, I can say that since this holds and order of A is n must divide mk. Okay, n must divide mk. Okay. Now suppose D is the GCD of mn. GCD of mn equal to d. So if d is the GCD of mn, then GCD of m by d n by d will be 1. D equal to GCD of mn, this implies GCD of m by d n by d will be equal to 1. Will be equal to 1. You can prove this. Now take this as your exercise. Take this as your exercise. Okay, this one. That if GCD of d is GCD of mn, then GCD of m by d n by d equal to 1. Now suppose this I call u, this I call v. Okay, so u equal to m by d and v equal to n by d. So this implies m equal to ud, n equal to vd. Okay, this I get. Now n divides mk. Here you substitute value of n and value of m. Okay, so from here I get what? M divides mk means this vd, n is vd. Okay, so vd divides ud k. Simply I am substituting m by ud, n by vd. I get this. So this implies v divides uk. V divides uk. Now from here I can see GCD of uv is 1. U and v, their GCD is 1. So from here v divides uk. So v and u are co-prime from here. So v divides uk means v must divide k. Because v cannot divide u. V and u are co-prime. Okay. So v divides k. So from here I conclude v divides k. Another thing you observe that if you take a to the power m whole to the power v, what you get? A to the power m whole to the power v. A to the power m you substitute ud, okay? Ud. So a to the power udv. udv. Now dv, what is the value of dv? dv is n. Okay, so a to the power u dv I am substituting by n. So a to the power u raised to the power n, or a to the power n raised to the power u. A to the power n is e because order of a is n. A to the power n is e. So e to the power e. I am getting e here. Okay, so a to the power m raised to the power v equal to e. Now you apply the definition of order of a to the power m. Now order of a to the power m is k. That means k is the least positive integer such that a to the power m whole to the power k is e. And also I have shown a to the power m raised to the power another power v is also e. And a to the power m whole to the power k is e, k is the least positive integer. So if you apply the order, this definition, order of a to the power m, that means this k must be sitting as a factor of v here. K is here, somewhere is sitting as a factor of v. So k divides v. Okay, so I am applying the definition of order of a to the power m. By the definition of order of a to the power m, k is the least positive integer for which a to the power m raised to the power k is e. Now I am getting a to the power m raised to the power another power. A to the power m, this is my element, to the power v is e. So by the definition of this order, this k must be divide v. K must divide v. Okay, so from here I conclude k divides v. Earlier I have proved v divides k. Now I have proved k divides v. So these two if you combine, you get v equal to k. Okay, v equal to k. So v equal to k, and k, what is the value of v? V is n by d. Okay, you get n by d. So k equal to n by d. This actually proves your result, order of power formula. K is order of a to the power m. This is equal to n by d. N means order of a, and d is the GCD of mn. GCD of m comma order of a. So that is your order of power formula. Okay, so while proving this, I have used these definitions. Order of a to the power m is definition I applied here to argue that this v is divisible by k. Okay, so you go through this. Okay. Okay, I have to stop here. What I have, let me check. Okay, just one moment. Okay, one more point to note, that if you have a finite group, each element will have finite order. This you can argue very easily this fact. This is a finite group. Finite group means group order is finite. That means cardinality of the set G is finite. Okay, now you are asked to show that every element in the group must have finite order. Okay, so if A is any element, then if you take composition of A with itself, A composition A, that means A square, A composition A, that means A cube, A to the power 4. All these compositions, A square, A cube, all these powers are also elements of G. Also elements of G. But since this is finite group, it cannot go infinitely many times. Since G is a finite order, I will find after some time it will repeat. Okay, so a to the power m will be equal to a to the power n for some positive integers mn. Okay, so m is less than n, m is greater than n, suppose. Okay, after some time it will repeat. Okay, so this gives me what? This gives me a to the power m minus n equal to e. That means order of A is finite. Okay, any finite order group, if you take finite order, two things I have: finite order group, finite order element. If you have a group of finite order, every element having finite order. Not only that, you can argue that order in a finite group, order of any element cannot exceed the group order. If the group order is n, every element is having order less or equal to n. Any group element, its order cannot exceed the order of the group. Okay, so order of an element in a finite group cannot exceed the order of the group. Okay, so a square, a cube, keep on doing that. Since it is finite group, a to the power n equal to some a to the power n equal to will get e. These are all distinct elements of A. When order of A is n, in that case a square, a to the power n, all are distinct elements of A. When order of A equal to n. Already we have proved these things here. We have proved these things, that if if group order is n, if group order is n, then a square, a cube, a to the power n, which is actually e, all these elements are unique. All these elements are distinct if group order is n. Group order is n. So you can establish this fact also, that that two things you can establish. The first, group order, if the group is finite, then every element is having finite order. And not only that, if the group in a finite group, order of an element in that group cannot exceed the group order, cardinality of the group. Okay. Let us stop here. In the next class, we will discuss on subgroups with several examples, several interesting examples.